Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar, Grandstream. Today's host is Phil Bowers, Senior Marketing Manager. He's presented with us before, and we're very happy to have him here again today. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to submit them in the question box at the end of today's presentation. Thank you, Phil, again for being with us today. I'm finished for now. Please go ahead and take it over.
Will do. Thank you very much, Julie. And once again, very nice to be with all of you. My name is Phil Bowers. I am the Senior Marketing Manager here at Grandstream. So for today's webinar, I'm just going to pretty much provide you a quick look on two of the most recent products we've come out with, which both were released in September. Towards the end of the webinar, I'll actually give you a sneak peek of two additional products that will be coming out at the end of the year. While we're going through that, I might give you a further sneak peek on a couple of other exciting things that we are working on that you'll probably see at the beginning of next year. And in the middle of the webinar there, after I tell you about our new Wi-Fi access point, I'm just going to kind of go through and talk about our GWN series, which I know we've covered here before, but always good to kind of cover it from a different angle. So let's get started here with our update. So we're going to go right into it. The first product, new solution that I'm going to talk about here today is our HA100. And this is a high availability controller that pairs with our UCM 6510 IP PBX. And simply put, what this device does is it allows you to pair two UCM 6510s together to essentially create a fully redundant solution with a built-in failover option. What the HA100 does, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with high availability kits or high availability functionality from other manufacturers within the industry, it is basically a box that you just connect to two UCM 6510s, and if the primary device goes down for any reason, whether it be the electricity goes out, whether it be, whatever the reason might be, the HA100 will automatically and seamlessly switch everything, every feature, functionality, SIP registration, IVR, everything on one UCM 6510 to the secondary or the backup UCM 6510. And it's able to do all of that in a 10 to 50 second time period. So very quick switch over. Again, this is really ideal for large scale deployments. We have a variety of case studies which you can actually find on our website that actually use the HA100. We have the Notre Dame University Hospital case study, which you can find on our website if you go to Solutions. At the bottom of there, you can click Case Studies. We have a Notre Dame University Hospital application case study that uses the HA100. We have a variety of school district deployments that we have done, which we have a case study for up there on our website, which uses the HA100, and a couple other things that you'll be seeing soon. So again, it just gives you the ability to create a fully redundant solution for any business that is running on a UCM 6510 by pairing the HA100 with a secondary UCM 6510 to create that backup failover solution. So as you see here, it is a hardware device. This is not software. So you do need to physically purchase an HA100. The typical deployment is two UCM 6510s and one HA100, in which one UCM 6510 is simply just set up as the primary and the other is the secondary, and the HA100 is the connection between the two of them. Go back to the previous slide. I have a slide coming up, I believe, next that will give you a better idea of the ports, but both on the front and the back of the device, a variety of FXO ports, FXS ports. Does offer you integration with E1 and T1 networks with the dedicated E1 and T1 ports, WAN, LAN ports, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, not only is this great for failover, but it also gives you the ability, as you see there with that fourth bullet point, to automatically sync data from the master to the secondary UCM, which also allows it to be, an ongoing backup option in addition to just a failover option, so that you can ensure all of your UCM 6510 settings, data, whatnot is always being backed up, in addition to having the ability to move an entire platform at once over to a secondary device. And I mentioned the 10 to 50. And again, real-time data synchronous. You're not, if this device kicks in, it's not backing up or it's not switching. You're not switching over just not whatever you had from your last backup or your last save. It's real time. The data, the information, the communications going on from the initial primary UCM 6510 back to the secondary. Very easy setup. A couple of clicks of the mouse through the web user interface through the device. To pair it, basically just pair it from one device to one UCM 6510 back to the other. This is the slide I was looking for, give you the better idea of the ports. You see the front on the top there, WAN, LAN, T1, E1, J1 dedicated ports. You've got 4 different FXO ports, 4 different FXS ports, and you've got a variety, I believe it's 14 different status indicators there. So not only, basically you can see that the devices you have connected to it are fully functioning. On the back there, you've got your two RS485 ports, 2 additional FXS and FXO ports, another T1, E1, J1 port, a LAN port, and a WAN port. Again, some more technical stuff just to throw it up here on some of what we have tested this device with. The first one there is through an E1 cable. We have tested this device to work with the secondary device 300 meters away, potentially down the hall on a different floor, etc., from the primary device if that, works well for you or if you require that. And as this slide shows, theoretically it should support much longer than 300 meter pairing distance. That's just what we've tested. The RS485 cable, which is what you're actually connecting the HA100 to each UCM device. It's a connection up to 1,300 meters, FXS port up to 100 meters. And as you see there with the FXO port, power is supplied by the remote PSTN line, has the same spec as the FXS in terms of supported distance, so you're looking at 100 meters there also. So again, the reason why we throw this slide up there is in case you have an existing UCM 6510 deployment, or you're looking to add this device and maybe the way it's set up, you can't put in a device right next to it or even in the room next to it. Maybe you need to go upstairs, downstairs, down the hall. We fully support that with this device. So again, just to wrap this up, and I understand, this is definitely a more technical device. But it's believe it or not, something that we have seen a lot of requests for, and since the device is out, and even the months leading up to the device, seen a lot of interest in this product. It kind of takes any UCM 6510 deployment to the next level. It allows these devices to be really ideal for a solution, for example, a hospital, a school, a hotel, anywhere where the communication system needs to be up and running 24/7, regardless of other conditions, regardless of weather, regardless of power. This gives you the ability to create a fully redundant solution with not only backup options, but a real-time failover option, so that if something does happen to the primary UCM 6510, everything is switched over to the secondary in 10 to 50 seconds. And as you see here, you, in this case, would actually integrate your FXS, your analog phones, your fax, for example, internet PSTN directly with the HA100, and then extend those out to the primary and secondary UCM. So again, if you're looking to create a fully redundant solution off of the UCM 6510, the HA100 is what you need. All right, so that is the first device we're going to talk about here today. The rest of this stuff, will probably be a little bit more exciting than the HA100, which I admit is a very technical product, but as I mentioned, we have seen a lot of demand and already a lot of success for that device. All right, so we're going to switch gears from unified communications or IP PBXs to networking. Last month, the end of September, we released the GWN7600LR. This is our first ever long-range outdoor Wi-Fi access point. It is the third GWN series access point within our GWN series. I'll talk a little bit more later on about the future of the GWN series. If you've been with us before, I'm sorry about that. Looks like some of these slides I grabbed may have been on time schedule, so I will do my best to cover that up. But yeah, so third GWN series access point, first one that is outdoor, and when I say outdoor, I mean it is fully IP66 weatherproof certified. It's been tested in temperature ranges, as you see on the slide here, from negative 30 degrees Celsius up to 60 degrees Celsius. It has been tested in various rain, sleet, snow conditions as well, and it has passed all those tests. So it is an IP66 certified weatherproof weatherproof access point. It is also our first ever long range access point. It goes up to 300 meters in range. Our other access points, as I'll show you later, go up to, I believe, 175 meters in range. So if you're looking to cover a wide distance in any indoor or outdoor setting, if you're looking to install Wi-Fi in a college campus, in a business campus, anything that might have a parking lot, anything that might have an outdoor component, the GWN7600LR is ideal for that situation. Full dual band Wi-Fi support. What else did I not mention? Supports up to 1.27 gigabits per second. Gives you the ability, what it doesn't say here is gives you the ability to support up to 450 Wi-Fi clients. So again, not only does it give you a great range with 300 meters, not only is it waterproof or weatherproof, excuse me, but it gives you the ability to support up to 450 clients, which is a lot of clients for a Wi-Fi access point. So it really gives you the ability to offer Wi-Fi across a long range with one device in any indoor or outdoor setting, regardless of what the weather concerns might be. I will cover some of these other features that are mentioned here as we go. So again, it is it's built for outdoor use in the way that it can be mounted here, either horizontally or vertically on any type of pole. It does come with this bracket that you see being used here in these pictures to install the device, so that you do not have to purchase separately. I think we have another actual picture coming up of this device being installed outdoors. But this just to show you that can be installed either on a pole vertically or horizontally. And here's the example. Here's what I was talking about with the mounting kit that it comes from, or comes with. Again, you don't have to purchase this separately. It comes with this mounting kit. Comes with the device, and here you see an actual outdoor deployment example. Yeah. What else do we have? So one thing that I want to cover, because from my understanding, it is extremely important, and it is something that we some functionality that we offer that most of our competitors within the space do not offer. I will do my best to explain it. It's a little bit more of a technical feature that even I'm coming to understand. But it basically gives you the ability through various high-end QoS features that we support to support various multimedia extensions and applications through a variety of different ways, whether it be click-through radius authentication, Facebook or WeChat. This is, again, basically giving you the ability through these devices to allow people to log in, to allow the system to have to actually verify their information and the security of their device. So the one thing that I did, this is actually what I was looking for. And this is something that, I will make sure we cover more in depth in the next webinar that we have, but this voice enterprise roaming. which is a feature that allows users, as it shows you here on the screen, to roam between different access points and minimize packet loss for a seamless handover experience. So let me explain the way that other devices work. When I say devices, I mean access points. As we've probably talked about here before, roaming between two different access points is actually a feature of your Wi-Fi client. Pretty much any modern Wi-Fi access point is going to give you the ability to seamlessly roam from one access point to the next and have your signal just move, from your Wi-Fi client move to whatever access point is closer to you. We obviously support that. What we're talking about here is we have built this voice enterprise roaming into these devices paired up with a variety of high-end QoS features to actually allow our access points to basically ensure a seamless handover, to play a role in the roaming of one device to the other in a way that minimizes packet loss and that does switches the Wi-Fi client over to this new access point as quickly as possible with no packet loss, no information loss, and no time needed to do this. So we will cover this more in depth probably in our next webinar. From what I've learned about it so far, it's a pretty interesting feature that we could talk about for a while. But again, the big takeaway here is that any modern access point supports roaming from one device to the other. And what we have done is we have built in this voice enterprise roaming functionality to actually take a greater role in facilitating that switching from one access point to the next to do it as fast as possible with as little packet loss as possible, something not offered by most of our competitors. And this is a feature that is currently supported by the GWN 7600LR that will soon be supported by all of our access points. All right, so what I just showed you there was the new device that we have, the GWN 7600LR, first ever long-range outdoor Wi-Fi access point. And just to kind of bring this whole thing home, I want to go through our GWN series, touch on each of the products individually, and then some of the things that allow this series of products to stand out. So as I mentioned, the product we just talked about, our first ever long-range outdoor Wi-Fi access point, third access point in our portfolio. As I've mentioned at other webinars, this GWN series is probably the biggest expansion of Grandstream maybe that we've ever had. It is this networking industry is a major focus for us going forward. These are not just a couple of products that we're throwing out on the market, as you'll see, and as you have been seeing, we continue to add to this portfolio. Frankly, we see the future of Grandstream as being as big in the Wi-Fi and the networking industry as we currently are in the UC VoIP industry. And again, the whole goal, just like why we added PBX's video conferencing, and now Wi-Fi or now networking solutions, the ability to offer an entire business communication solution platform designed and made by one manufacturer. We want to be a one-stop shop for every product solution that anyone's going to need to install a business communication solution. This, we think offers some great advantages to our channel and especially to many of our resellers who, through this technology that is very, the way these devices are set up and managed is frankly very similar to how our VoIP devices are set up and managed, gives everyone within the channel the ability to expand what they're doing, to sell more, and to do it all with products from one manufacturer. So real quickly here, I'm just going to go through the other GWN access points. We'll start with the 7610. This was the first access point that we came out with a little over a year ago. This device supports 250 clients. It gives you 1.75 gigabits per second with 175 meter coverage range. The GWN 7610, if you are looking for a device that's going to maximize the connection speeds through all your Wi-Fi clients, if you are more interested in faster speeds and being able to support a lot of clients, the 7610 is my suggestion for you. You'll see it supports a little bit less in terms of clients, but it supports faster speeds than any of other access points. So if you're looking for a Wi-Fi access point to maximize the speed that devices can connect to it at, the 7610 is what you want. Again, it offers you a little bit less support in terms of Wi-Fi clients, but maximizes the speed by offering you up to 1.75 gigs per second. And then we move to the 7600, which the picture, and I'll go back and forth, looks about the same as the 7610. 7600 is actually a little bit smaller than the 7610, believe it or not. And this is the device if you're looking for an indoor access point that can give you the ability to support a lot of clients. This is what you're looking for. It'll offer you a little bit slower speeds than the 7610, which I just showed you, about half a gig per second less, but gives you the ability to support 200 more clients. So the 7600 is ideal if you're looking to support a lot of different clients, but maybe you're not so concerned about the speeds that they're able to achieve. For example, businesses, convention centers, or not businesses, retail locations, convention centers, where they want to be able to offer Wi-Fi. They're not super concerned about being able to offer the fastest speeds. This is the device for you. Coverage range just about the same as the 7610, 10 meters less. But when you actually test those out, you'll find that both of these devices will pretty much offer you just about the same, the same range. And now we bring in the new access point that we just talked about, the 7600 LR. Again, it is our first ever outdoor long-range access point, 300-meter coverage range, which is 125 meters further than any of our other current devices. Gives you the ability to, again, support a lot of different clients in any outdoor setting without worrying about weather, temperature, etc. Is ideal, is exactly what this device is ideal for. You see the wireless throughput, or the speeds it's able to handle, about the same, or exactly the same as the 7600. 7610 is kind of our high-end device in terms of speeds with 1.75. Then the 7600, which I just showed you, ideal for indoor, supporting a lot of users in an indoor space. This device, ideal for supporting a lot of users in any indoor and outdoor space, potentially. Just to mention it here real fast, we also have our GWN 7000. This is currently the only router in the GWN series. Actually, early next year, and here's one of the sneak peeks that I'll offer you. Early next year, we will be coming out with a all-in-one SMB router. It will be basically a router and access point in one. Think about pretty much the thing that if you take the router that Comcast or Verizon Fios or whatever your cable internet provider might be at your home, it's going to be a device similar to that has both an access point and a router in one. So keep an eye out for that early next year. The 7000 here really is ideal as an SMB, small to medium-sized business router. It has 7 gigabits port built right into it. Controller, provisioning functionality for up to 500 Grandstream access points. I'm going to explain that in a second. Truly, in my opinion, the best thing about these devices, our whole GWN series, are basically the extremely innovative way, in my opinion, that they're set up and managed with built-in, built-in provisioning controllers or built-in controllers into the software of all of our access points and routers. Again, I'll talk about that in a moment. So just to finish up with the router, our GWN 7000, multi-WAN ports, offers you load balancing and failover, has a centralized web user interface that allows you to monitor and manage every access point and every device on any network being managed by this GWN 7000. 10 gigabits per second, 1 million packet per second routing. It has built-in firewall features. It supports a variety of peripherals through the USB ports, things such as integrating with wireless file sharing services, wireless printing services, etc. One kind of sneak peek that I'll mention here on the more technical side is within the next month or two, we're releasing a major firmware upgrade for all GWN series devices. that, for one, will add that voice enterprise roaming feature to all the GWN devices, but will also allow our router to support and create mesh networks, which is a big thing. So keep an eye out for that coming soon. So that's our GWN series, the 3 access points, the 7600LR, the 7610, and the 7600, and our current router, the GWN 7000. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be releasing a variety of new GWN devices over the coming months and years, additional routers, additional access points that give you the ability to support different solutions, indoor and outdoor, support larger solutions supporting larger solutions in addition. So keep an eye out for some more of that. I talked about most of this. I will just leave this up here real quickly in case you want one additional kind of comparison between the 3 access points we talked about. The new one that we talked about is all the way on the right, the weatherproof long-range access point. I'll leave this up here for a second. Just a couple other things to point out. All of our access points and routers support all of the Wi-Fi standards going all the way back to 802.11a. So if you might be currently using other access points or routers that run on older Wi-Fi frequencies or standards, we will support that, pretty much backwards compatible to support whatever Wi-Fi standard you're using. Dual band Wi-Fi on all of these devices, as is frankly more or less standard these days, both 2.4 gigs and 5 gigahertz band. If you're interested in MIMO, which you've probably seen on a lot of these slides, we actually, Kate Clavitt on our marketing team wrote a blog post explaining what MIMO is and why it's so important. I would suggest you read that to get a better understanding of it. But basically, MIMO is just gives the device the ability to maximize the amount of signals it is able to both send and receive at the same time. That's the quick version of it. Check out our blog to learn more about that. In terms of software specs, you see that I guess the big one here, actually one I didn't mention is that top one. All of our access points give you the ability to support up to 16 different BSSIDs. It says BBSID, it should be BSSID or SSID as many people simply say. That means 16 different Wi-Fi networks per access point. So you can literally build up to 16 different access point or networks on each access point. Makes it great for, especially for, an enterprise, for example, that's going to want a different Wi-Fi network for their sales team, their marketing team, their visitors, their IT team, their security team, management, et cetera, et cetera. Anything else here that I want to mention? We talked about concurrent clients. Talk about security here real fast, coming up in a moment. QoS, always important to mention, 802.11e and WMM QoS, as well as VLAN and TOS. All right, so beginning to wrap up here, have probably maybe 5 or 6 slides off the top of my head, but we should be able to get through those in just a matter of a couple of minutes. One thing I've mentioned in the past that I will cover here, we've built our entire GWN series to feature market-leading network protection. In some of the previous webinars, I've thrown up a slide that has a variety of Wi-Fi encryption technologies. There are 6 that we support, which is frankly more than most of our competition is going to support. This is completely in addition to those Wi-Fi encryption technologies. 4 different high-level security features that we've built in to all of our GWN devices that frankly just give you a variety of added network protection. Anti-hacking security, critical data and control lockdown, unique security certificate per device, random default password per device. The bottom 2 there, the security certificate per device and the random default password per device, the easy way for me to explain that is pretty much every other manufacturer puts the same security certificate on every access point, and they put the same predictable password on every access point, which means that if you have bought that brand's access points before, and you potentially know that all of the random default passwords are the MAC address or the serial number or something like that, you can very easily hack into these devices before or even sometimes after they've been set up. The security certificate, with most other manufacturers, it's the same security certificate on each access point. So if you're able to hack into one access point, you then have the security certificate information for every other access point by that manufacturer. We put a different security certificate on every access point, and we build in a completely different random default password on every device. The top two are just basically the way that I'll explain anti-hacking security, critical data, and control lockdown is that every level of layer of software within our access points is made to basically keep in touch with and monitor every other layer. If any layer senses anything is off in any one other layer, for example, if somebody tries to hack in and change the password, for example, or change anything about your device, every other layer will pick up on that, and it will lock down the system and lock down your data and the control of your system to ensure basically that nobody can hack into it or make any changes. So those are the four high-end network protections built into all of our GWN access points. I will try to explain this real quickly. So I've talked about this probably ad nauseum in previous webinars we've had. In my opinion, actually in all of our opinion over here, and not just at Grandstream, but outside of Grandstream, the single greatest and most innovative feature of all of our GWN series devices is the controllerless management that they feature. You look on the right there for the traditional way that Wi-Fi networks access points were installed and configured. You needed to purchase a separate piece of hardware or software known as the controller. These controllers, most of the time, could only set up, manage a certain amount of access points. So if you're doing a larger deployment, you needed to buy a variety of these controllers in addition to the access points. And then when you're setting them up, you need to point each controller to the access point, set up the access point, and then go back to the controller to basically confirm and finalize the provisioning. We have taken all of the functionality of that controller and we have built it into the web user interface for every GWN series router and access point. So what does that mean? That means that you have the ability using any Grandstream GWN router or access point to set up and manage entire networks of other access points. So for example, if you want to set up a variety of any of our Wi-Fi access points, you don't need a controller. If you already have a router, you don't even need a router. The access points themselves, within their user interface, have the ability to manage entire networks. So in that case, you would install one access point, make it the master on that network, and then basically you're just plugging in other access points to the same network. The master Grandstream access point will discover that within the web user interface, give you the ability to add it and configure it, set up networks, set up passwords, all of that right from within the user interface of an access point, and that is free. There's no extra cost for that. Our access points give you the ability to support and manage up to between 30 and 50 other Grandstream Wi-Fi access points. If you're using our router, the GWN 7000, for example, the built-in, the embedded controller built into the router's web user interface, off the top of my head, gives you the ability to support up to 350 Grandstream access points. So the controller functionality built into the router, a little bit more powerful than is built into the access point. But again, this embedded provisioning controller allows you to set up and manage entire networks simply from the web user interface of any router, Grandstream router, or access point. All right, so I'm going to wrap up here. Two real quick coming soon products that you can look out for in the next couple of months. And as I go through this, a couple other things might pop out of my mouth to a couple of additional products we're looking forward to. So the first thing is our HT818. This should be available by the end of November is the guess at the moment. This is just an analog telephone adapter or a VoIP gateway that has 8 ports. We previously had a VoIP gateway, the product name is escaping me at the moment, that had 8 FXS ports built into it. That device was discontinued, or we stopped manufacturing that device earlier in the year and have now moved it into the HD818. It's going to have the same look and feel as all of our other HD800 analog telephone adapters. Can't see it here in the picture, but it's got a color-coded ports on the back. Again, basically just allows you to integrate up to 8 analog devices here with any SIP or VoIP network. Has gigabit ports built in. Actually does have a built-in NAT router, as some of our some of our other ATA models do as well. Supports all the major voice codecs, supports fax pass-through, as all of our ATAs do, and strong security encryption. So that's the first one. Upcoming analog telephone adapter or VoIP gateway can pretty much serve either purpose with 8 FXS ports built into it. Second device that I'm going to tell you about is something that some of you may, frankly, already be familiar with. This is going to be our DP760 decked repeater. Yes, this is a decked repeater. First decked repeater we've ever come out with. This device has gone through, frankly, very, very stringent beta testing. It was released to our beta club earlier in the year, and with their help, we have, frankly, really made this a very, very reliable and strong device. It pairs with our DP750, which is our current deck base station, and basically allows you to extend the decked range for any handset paired to any DP750, an additional 300 meters outdoors or 500 meters indoors. That is literally doubling the current range that our decked platform offers. In some cases, more than doubling it. Offers you automatic association with the base so that when you plug it into the same network as the base station, it can go out automatically, discover it. Has built-in PoE. So yeah, this should be out within, again, we're looking at now probably by the middle of November, before Thanksgiving, I would expect to see this. So if you're looking to build any decked solutions with our decked IP phones, this is going to be a great future addition. If you have any current ones, this is going to be a very cost-effective, great addition to allow you to literally double the range of your decked solution. And while we're talking here about wireless, cordless phones, the last thing that I will offer up here today, something to look forward to at the beginning of next year. And some of you may have actually seen this. We talked about it at our partner conference last month, and I've seen it pop up a couple of places on the internet since. A series of Wi-Fi phones. That's right, we're working on our first ever Wi-Fi phones. There's a fully functioning model. It should go into beta testing within the next month or so. So keep an eye out for that also. Something we're really excited about. We've got a lot of feedback over the last couple of years that people really want a very easy to use, high-end yet very affordable Wi-Fi phone. It'll be very similar to a decked phone in terms of the way it looks, its shape and size. It will just be a Wi-Fi phone. All right, and I see, as I seem to often do, when a couple of moments over my allotted time period, so I do apologize for that. But with that, that wraps up our update today on new Grandstream solutions and some things to look forward to in the next couple of months. So yeah, with that, I will wrap up my section and I will turn it back over to Julie for any questions.
Bill, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. We enjoyed it. And yes, I do have a couple questions for you. Let's go ahead and get started with the first one. Question here, will there ever be an option for just the software controller and not needing the hardware to run it?
Is this probably talking about the HA, the high availability kit we talked about at first? At the moment, to my knowledge, we have no plans for a software-based high availability controller. At the moment, it is just the hardware option, and as I mentioned, I'm not aware of us looking to develop a software version.
Thank you very much. Next question for you. Does the controllers register and control other devices on the network if they are not Grandstream products?
Assuming, again, we're talking about the high availability kit, You know, I don't believe so. I would love to say that it would be able to be a failover kit for other potential IP-PBXs or other solutions as well. I'm almost 100% sure that this device only works with our own UCM 6510 and no other device.
Thank you, Phil. Next question. Are there any meet and greets coming up with Grandstream, with the Grandstream team here in California that you are aware of?
So that off the top of my head, I'm not aware of, but I would have to be sure that there probably are. I know that frankly, one of our most effective and strongest marketing programs over the last couple of years has been those in-person regional trainings or meet and greets, or in some regions we're actually calling them Grandstream days. I know we're looking to increase that. So I would imagine that soon, if not already planned, there could be something like that. I would check in with Microcom also. Maybe that there's been some talks with our sales team to put one of those together that I might not be aware of. If you go to our website at any point in time and go to events, trainings, you can see all the upcoming future trainings and any other similar Grandstream meet and greet that we have coming up. So I would check there. And if there's not anything at the moment, I would imagine we'll have something very soon. We actually just turned our Los Angeles office, a whole room in our LA office, into a training center. So I would imagine we'll also be holding some more trainings there. So I guess that was a long answer. I'm not 100% sure. You can check those locations, and if we don't have something now, we should have something very soon.
Thank you, Phil. We can certainly do that. Next question for you. With the outdoor unit, can one easily plug a camera into the extra Ethernet port and run surveillance through that device? Do you have an outdoor camera that is also IP66 weatherproofed so I can maintain that setup with all Grandstream equipment?
That is a fantastic question. And yeah, we actually have done that here in our office. We have currently outside one of the devices that we've been testing here, we have set up outside of our office, and it has, I don't remember which camera we have plugged into it, but doing exactly what you just said. We do have a variety of IP66 certified outdoor cameras. Off the top of my head, we have a GXV 3672 series. There's been a variety of different models. I know that some of them are still available. That device is made with weatherproof casing. We have a GXV 3662. That is pretty much our high-end camera. It is not just weatherproof, but it is vandal-proof and tamper-proof. That is IP66 certified. And actually our GXV 3610, which is, to my knowledge, our most popular IP camera model, is also IP66 certified weatherproof camera. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. And we do have a variety of cameras that are weatherproof.
Thank you, Phil. Got a next question for you. For the GWN 7600 long range, you mentioned the access point was weatherproof. Can we assume that's waterproof as well? Obviously, rain.
Yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely waterproof. That is included in IP66 certified, in IP66 testing. I mean, obviously, you can't submerge the device in water and it's going to work, but pretty much nothing else will either. I believe that we technically suggest people to mount the device, and if you look at the way it's made, it's mounted to be, or it's made to be mounted with the device sitting vertically, basically. It's got a couple of ports on the bottom of the device which are put there purposely so that water can't get into them, but if you were to, for whatever reason, put the device on its side or flip it upside down, water could seep into that, and so that's why we say it's fully weatherproof and fully weatherproof, fully IP66 certified, just mount it in the vertical position.
Thank you very much, Phil. I got another question for you. Does the GWN 7610 access point have a power adapter?
So every one of our access points will come in the box with a power supply. It's something we do that I know a lot of other manufacturers don't do. We looked into it, and frankly, we think it's better for everybody, and it's really not much of a cost at all to include a power supply. So every GWN product comes with a power supply. We actually also, I know that you can get things like PoE injectors from all over the place, but you can actually purchase PoE injectors from us as well with any of our GWN series devices.
Thank you very much. A couple more questions. When is the release date for the DP760, and is there options for demo pricing on this unit?
Good question. So as of right now, from what I saw in a meeting yesterday, the DP760 we're hoping to be able to release it in early November. It's going through a couple of final quality control tests internally, but it has passed our internal beta, it's passed our partner beta, it's passed our external beta. So it's basically 3 out of the 4 steps for release, and we're just doing some final testing on it. So hopefully early November. In terms of demo pricing, I would imagine that something is certainly available there. I know that we have a variety of programs to allow our channel partners to get their hands on these things and test them out that way. So I would either check in with your Grandstream sales rep about that, or if you don't have one, or if that's, if it's easier to ask me, we can, I can get that answer offline and get back to you. But there should be a couple of demo options that you can get your hands on that device, and I would recommend talking to your Grandstream sales rep.
Thank you, Phil. Last question. In regards to the unique security certificate, can I manage or change the security access information for each access point?
That's a good question. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think you can. I think those are all preset security sets that we put into it that are locked down. Just thinking a little bit further within my own head on this, I think if there was the ability for you to go in and change them, it could potentially make it easier for other people to hack into and change as well. So off the top of my head, I do not believe you can. However, I will check in on that and let Julie know, and maybe we can follow up with you after the webinar.
Thank you very much, Phil, for answering all those questions for us today. And also thank you, everyone, for attending. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep, or you can email us at sales@microcomtech.com. If you wish to view any of the products mentioned and shown today, please visit us at www.microcom.us, or please remember this webinar has been recorded and this presentation will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel. So if you'd like to view it again, you can certainly do that on YouTube. Phil, thank you so much for your time today and all your wonderful information. We greatly enjoyed it. I hope everyone has a fantastic day.